Hiya, welcome to the XG Files. Dre's back. We're kind of liking him. All right?
Yeah, I'm alright. How are you?
I didn't get a shirt memo, though.
Oh, yeah. Shirt memo today, wasn't it? All right.
Not sure about yours, though. I'm trying to look at it there.
We've been like that for.
All right. First off, we'll start. Now, this is how we're going to start. This is how we're going to kick it off.
Limited
I
edition
don't care if it's Barber.
Savile Row
Yeah, I don't
edition.
care if it's Barber.
Is that alright, that?
For Steve's shirt, yes or no in the comments? Because I'm going with a huge no. I don't care about it.
Great question there from Muya talking about, did you see the Der Spiegel article on City? Did you see it? I retweeted it earlier.
No, go on.
Nothing anyone didn't suspect was
enlighten
happening.
me.
Essentially, City, this is going to come as a shock to absolutely nobody. City were using their sponsors and just random businesses in like Abu Dhabi to pay managers and players and
Is that to do?
coercing young players into doing stuff and all that.
Is that to do with the fact that with the whole? Have you seen the whole new UEFA regulations that they've put in place in June about like obviously the cap that you can only spend 70% of your revenue?
What
Have
is
you
it?
also
no.
noticed City's revenue? They're the most revenue generating club in England, and you're like, wait, how?
No, this is what I was talking about with Joe upstairs. It's like, right, so you can only spend 70% of your revenue on agent fees, transfer fees, wages, etc., which is the main reason why clubs like Everton and Villa, where their owners are probably just as wealthy as any in the league, can't spend as much as a United and City and a Chelsea, obviously. But I was thinking about in terms of revenue, clubs like City and probably Newcastle are going to do the same. They're going to get through the loophole of probably creating their own sponsors to generate their own manufactured revenue.
That's exactly what's happening.
Yes, that they can do the same.
Etihad Campus,
Yeah.
Etihad shirt sponsor.
We're paying you how much you need? Billion.
Exactly.
I'm actually glad
Because like it's left hand to right hand.
Exactly.
Like if I take my money out of there and put it there, I ain't lost the money. Like,
No, because I was going to ask, because when I was upstairs, I was like, yeah, Steve probably knows a bit on this stuff you talked to me about. Something like, we're going to ask you on here, and I almost forgot until you actually mentioned it. Because I was going to figure out how it actually works, because if it is revenue-based, and it always has been in financial fair play, how are Newcastle going to all of a sudden spend 400 million or whatever in a summer when they don't generate revenue?
They're going to do it. They're also, financial fair play is absolutely toothless. City challenging it in the court and winning has just meant that anyone just go like that.
Does
Whenever they
anyone
get.
even know what financial fair play is?
It was a myth in the first place, and it was brought in. Now, City think it was brought in to stop them. It's actually brought in to stop the Glazers. It was brought in to protect people from the Glazers, thinking that clubs would run up debts like United. It wasn't necessarily brought in to stop the sugar daddy thing. Maybe more on the Chelsea thing, where they're like Roman borrows the money to Chelsea, doesn't he? He doesn't give it them. Whereas I think Sheikh Mansour just signs checks and just fucking like does whatever he wants. So it was actually brought in to protect clubs. And on one hand, I get it, and I kind of agree with it. I think there needs to be some sort of regulation on it, but I don't know to what degree.
And like you said, Ronaldo was saying, how do you police it? And do people actually want to police it? Because like for example, if you look at the Premier League
There's
the last few
loopholes everywhere,
years,
isn't
City winning and winning and winning has like been good for English football because they're doing well in Europe. It's the same with Chelsea.
No, I don't think it is.
that-
I think it's the opposite. I think when you make leagues uncompetitive like it's been, I think interest wanes in that league.
It's weird though, isn't it? Because like it seems now in the Premier League, you have a top two and then another four, and then a drop off, and it's like, what is that? Used to be a top six, used to be top four before, but now it's like a top two and then another top four. That's not good. Because like it makes teams like United, it makes teams like Arsenal and Spurs just sort of think, well, we have to just settle for Champions League every year, try and get in the Champions League
But
positions.
that's the mentality of the Glazers, isn't it? It's usually
That is
if
the
they're
mentality.
in the Champions League, they're happy, which is kind of funny because the fact that we're not qualifying for the Champions League in most likeliness might kick the Glazers into gear, because we was worried because we saw that concerning report that Glazers were only going to fork out 60 million if United didn't qualify for the Champions
Random
League.
figure. As
So
well.
it was a proper random figure.
Who came out with that?
And now the reports are...
Like, what's that going to buy you? Like
I don't
a
know.
second choice fucking right winger?
Don't know what it's going to buy, Exactly. But apparently now, it's come out that Erik Ten Hag, when he's appointed, if he's appointed, say my ass there, will be backed quite heavily in the summer.
This is the thing. It's like that summer? What about next summer? What about the summer after? What about the summer after? Because I think we mentioned it the other week. It's like, Mourinho had one summer where he signed loads of players and he had another sign.
Next week you get a backup goalkeeper and a backup fullback and a backup midfielder.
And what's that all about? What sort of long-term plan?
I mentioned this on the stream I did last night, where it isn't about the money you spend, in my opinion, to actually enact change in a club. It's more on the change you're able to enact with the money you've spent, if that makes sense. I know people are like, what are you on about?
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
You can spend $1 billion, but if it's mismanaged and it's on 3 players, it's not going to do a lot. City bought 23 players in their first 3 windows following a takeover by Mansour. Klopp was able to change out the entire 11 in the first few seasons of being at Liverpool. I think it's just about, can you change the personnel? I'm not saying, I wouldn't put a figure on it and go, like, you got 800 million to spend. Like, no, I would, as a manager, I wouldn't want to say, I don't want to come in and go, how much have I got to spend? I need to come in and go, I think this first team needs 8 new players. Can I get 8 new first team players? And they might go, yeah, but you ain't getting 75 million per position. You go, okay, I'm going to have to move quick here and look at how we can get some, because there was a graphic someone put up before, which was 2 11s that are available on freeze this year. Like, someone could do a fucking madness. If some club with a good agent, like, got around all those players and was like, listen, project time. Do you want to come to Brentford? Like,
Nah, but do you know the only issue with the whole free thing is then obviously you've got to have that kind of the pull. But then usually when decent players are coming on a free, they usually have the wages are usually a lot higher than if they were a transfer, because it's basically, I think the way the club see it is, I'm not spending a transfer fee on you, so you're going to be cheaper than it would have been if I had to buy you. Yeah. So you can have a bit of a higher wage in it to almost compensate it a little bit, which is the problem. So I'm thinking, because we've already talked about how our wages are mismanaged anyway at United, and I know you are eventually going to do something on that, aren't you?
It's next week, I think.
Next week is going to do a video on some of the stuff. It's quite interesting. So I think you can't just go, I'm going to buy like 5-6 free agents. Sometimes you have to look in the transfer market and be a little bit smarter than that.
You do, but that's what I'm saying. Like, as a project, or if you was going to play like a footy manager game with a theme on it, like, put all of those players at Brentford or something and see how they do. Like Zlatan, Mbappe. Now, you're not going to get your Mbappes and all that lot, but you might get, and you probably, like, a Brentford ain't getting Rudiger either. But, like, there are some top players that you could bring in that you might be able to say, do you know what? Like, if you offered Mbappe, listen, here's what we're doing. He's probably still going to say no, like, but, like, someone is going to say yes. So I'll just use Mbappe as an example.
Yeah, because he's available on a free.
Yeah. And it's the only one I can think of. But if you go, Pogba, Lingard, right? Listen.
Bale.
We're going to give you a 1-year deal. So if it goes tits up this year, we're going to try and sign all of these players. If it goes tits up, you can all walk away at the end of the season. Some players, without a better offer, might go on then. Who else are you signing? Zlatan. Yeah, go on then. You get Zlatan signed up and I'll have a bit of that.
Why are there not more 1-year deals? There's never 1-year deals.
I think it's a bit of, I don't know, he'll know more. Is this like an NFL kind of thing?
1-year deals are heavily NFL, NBA-ish, but it's usually veterans or players that aren't good enough to get a long-term deal.
Free transfer sort of market, kind of.
I feel like football is really different, because it's funny because in NFL and NBA, the way the whole salaries and stuff works quite different anyway. But they usually prove it deals in terms of the sense of urgency, which could work though, because usually players on that 1-year deal will play their ass off because they're basically playing for their future.
Exactly.
Imagine how fun
do you
that
know what I mean?
If you're on a 4-year deal, you can just sit down and see the money come in for 4
1-year
years.
deal, Brentford. Let's have Zlatan and Mbappe up front with Bale on the right. A midfield of Pogba, Lingard,
but then
Kamara. Right, he was a free.
Screen's gone off, but
gives that remote, and then in defence, Rudiger. Who else is available on a free?
No, but you're
Phil Johns. Phil Johns.
No, but you're talking about players that are never ever going to agree to a 1-year deal, though.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? As I've just told you, players in the NFL and NBA that do it are usually players that aren't. That's the only option that they've basically got, in a sense.
It's weird, because you feel like players that you've mentioned, they should have enough money to not care about money now and not mind just taking a 1-year deal. They know they'll get a club after, do you know what I mean? They shouldn't be like, I need another 4-year deal just to make sure I've got a steady stream of income coming in. It just shows that, like, everything, it's relative, isn't it? When you're a footballer and you're making more and more money, you don't need money anymore. you're still thinking about money. That's bizarre, that.
And I just think the way that business works in general when it comes to football, it's not that comparable to like NFL and NBA because I don't think the whole 1 year deal thing works because it's all about short-termism isn't used as much in terms of the Premier League. So it's one of those where who's sneaking up behind me? Is it Will?
Yeah,
you are
the telly's gonna keep talking.
The tallest beetle in my life I've ever seen. But anyway, nah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But it's like we were saying it upstairs, like about Carvalho signing for Liverpool today, and it's like Steve was mentioning it with like selling the project and stuff. It's easy for Liverpool to make signings like that now, signing young players who like are promising and stuff because they can believe in the project. And it's weird because I'm planning a video at the minute about how I can't remember what it's called, but it's like I'm basically looking at how United can build a squad that can challenge again. And a lot of it is just copying what Liverpool are doing. And it's horrible to admit, but it's exactly what it is.
It also kind of is. Like, they've got to the point, I kind of hope, and this isn't from a competitive point of view, I kind of hope they tell Salah to go fuck himself. He's trying to hold out for a monster deal, which I'll be honest, he's probably worth. Right now he's worth, yeah. But within that contract, he will fall off. If they give him a 3 or 4 year deal, 400-500 grand a week, they will not be getting value for money by the end of that contract. You might get a season and a half, 2 seasons of value for money out of Salah. But I'd actually respect the hell out of them as much as I'm ever going to respect Liverpool, which puts them at about 0.001. But I would respect that they've gone, nah, do you know what? Diaz is going to take your place. Or Carvalho is going to take your place. Go fuck yourself.
It just seems like they've got their shit together. Well,
yeah. We're so far away from that.
Exactly. But that's what we have to do. It's a bit like how Ferguson operated at the end of his career post-Glazer, where he was signing players like Javier Hernandez and the De Silva twins and Van Persie, not for a lot of money, but he was still winning trophies with us.
Yeah.
That's what we got. It's clever. But that's because United were letting football people make football decisions. Now it's like,
crazy idea that
Ollie,
is.
you've got 150 mil. It's like, all right, I'll get Wan-Bissaka because then I've still got 100 mil left. Oh, I might as well get Maguire. I'll get Dan James with the last 20 mil. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, what kind of mentality is that for a club to just be like, you've got
I kind of want to see a director of football transfer committee kind of thing where someone goes, like Ronaldo's my manager, and I say, right, what do you want to do? And he goes, here's my 5 players for this summer. And I'll go, okay, have you got backups and backups? Because you're not going to get all your first choices. I want to see your A, B, C list on your 5. And he goes, all right, yeah, cool. And then I say, right, you need to argue for every one of these players for me. So, off the top of your head, give me your 3 signings that you want to make.
What, this summer?
Yeah, you're Ronaldo Ten Hag. So, who's your 3 signings?
Tchouaméni, Antony, and I'd probably go for Schlotterbeck.
Okay. No, I think Tchouaméni is a pretty easy one. We might all just agree. Me and Dre are on the transfer committee. We might all just go, okay, yeah, fine. Antony, though, I don't think he could do it in England. And Dre might be like, we just signed a right winger last year. He played him on the fucking left. Or Ralph played him on the left.
But then I'd fight back and say we basically lost a player that was playing quite heavily there to begin the season.
Mason?
Yeah, Mason Greenwood.
Okay, well, we still don't know what's going to happen with him. So do we want to spend 40, 50 million on a player when we might have that player coming back?
But I'm not here for not sureism.
But we might need you to argue the point. Do you know what I mean? Really just.
I'll just argue the point. The same way that you see in lower league football is if there's a player that managers work with and you've got a long-term vision with him, yeah, and he's got a young player that he plays week in, week out successfully that he likes and he wants to bring him along. Because you see this in football in like the counties in Northern Prem, where coaches like to have players they're familiar with, that understand their system, that they've got a relationship with, and if they're good enough, they'll bring them along to kind of improve the squad. Do you know what I mean? So I'd basically say, I want to bring him in. He's 21 years old. He's on the rise. I don't think he'll cost as much as you think either. And I think he provides balance because in terms of attacking options, I think a left-footed player is needed in my system. That's what I'd argue.
I want to see people fight for it. Like, really justify your signing. You know, we might throw.
How do you know that they're not? They
No,
aren't.
might have done.
How do you know they aren't?
They might have done. I'm just saying that. That's what I want to know.
Like I said, if it's football people having these conversations, if this is Ten Hag and Ranić,
this
they're going to come up with something.
Matt Judge and fucking Woodward.
Exactly.
Woodward going, well, how many followers has he got on Instagram? Honestly,
Yeah,
who gives a
he
fuck?
looked
Literally,
alright when
who
we
gives a
played him
fuck?
last season.
Fuck knows anyway, because we didn't hear about. For example, we spoke about Timber. We didn't know who he was until a few days ago.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So sometimes you got to take, because we want to go through this whole kind of turnaround and becoming more youthful, less mercenaries in the squad, kind of go for a hungry approach. And we know this isn't going to be a quick fix. And we've got a coach that's proven to be good in this kind of youthful kind of bringing players through, homing them the same way Rangnick is.
Solid academy.
Yeah.
Like, people are looking at the Garnacho, the Mainu sort of academy level, but really, it's your Levitt, Galbraith, Garner, Laird, Williams, even maybe even Chong. Maybe these guys are the ones where you go, actually, that might be who he messes with.
Do you think Garner could feature next season?
I don't think he's first choice, but I think he plays 8 to 10 games.
And you think he will?
I think so.
Oh yeah, back on what this guy saying before is this so sad Alexa played Despacito. Hope you get through whatever you got going through. There are a few vets on a 1+1 team option like Thiago Silva, but that gives the power to the teams and is a prove you're still at this level type deal. That's exactly what it is in NFL and NBA. Yeah. I didn't know that Thiago Silva was on that, but the thing is, Thiago Silva's 36, 37, which is the type of ages of players that are going to accept those kind of deals. They've usually had long careers, they've made all the money that they need to make. They don't really need that longevity contract. I don't think you're going to get good youthful young players below 30 that are going to sign 1-year deals at clubs. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not enough.
It's a players' market at the moment, isn't it? Like, but yeah, I'd still like to see.
Especially there's no transfers in the NFL NBA. It's just trades.
And
so
how do you change that like culture? You just can't.
I don't think you completely change stuff like that. Football's football, just the way it is. Do you know what I mean?
Let's answer this one here. So we've got Seeker of Guidance. Says, hello lads, I saw another United fan stream say that Sir Alex isn't rated outside of England. Can you reboot this? Well, we all live in England.
He's definitely rated outside of England. But then I think it's
how do you know? We're not outside of England.
You had a garlic bread yesterday.
My Italian family seem to rate him. But I think what it is that obviously other fans in other countries have their own managers as well. And it's like, they'll obviously rate Ferguson, but they might rate Ferguson like we rate, I don't know, Saki or something.
Or Lippy.
Yeah, exactly.
Alex says the only way to stop oil money, in my opinion, is you have an NFL or NBA style salary and transfer spend cap in world football. Who implements that? FIFA?
I think a salary.
How the hell did you do that?
I think
across 170 different federations.
I don't know. A salary cap in football wouldn't work, in my opinion. I think it's too much of a big change. I think it's just a completely different thing, isn't it? It's like, yeah, we did hit 190k, Janine. Thanks for listening.
And there's
John
ways around
Von
it.
There says there's a world outside of England, Steve. I said, how would I know? Because I can only comment on the basis of being English and born in England. If you're saying to me, how's Sir Alex Ferguson rated by Spanish people? Ask someone fucking Spanish. I don't know.
Do they rate him in Iraq?
I can't comment on what a Spanish person thinks of Sir Alex Ferguson.
That was my exact thought.
An English Mancunian.
That was my exact thought when I saw that question. I was like, can you rebuke this? How do you rebuke it? We don't know what people outside.
Well, in my opinion,
do you know what I mean?
as a fucking English United fan that's lived exclusively in England, they do rate him. How do I know? I can't fucking draw. Oh, fucking. Blue Moon says, oil money, crying, laughing emoji. United has the highest wages. Those two things aren't related.
Yeah, that's literally what has a wage got to do with oil money?
Guess
when
what?
It's not come from
not
oil
only
money.
have we made all that money, legitimately, we're also hamstrung by the fact that our owners are paying off the world's worst Wanderlow.
United aren't
you fucking donut.
So he thinks United are creating a wage inflation. That's not the case because
literally, City and Chelsea created the wage inflation. 2003 onwards, it just went fucking gadoosh. Anyway.
Wouldn't that just go hand in hand with just natural inflation anyway?
Yeah, but it was really 2003 and 2008 really just put it through the fucking moon. Right, I want to talk to you about... Well, Joe, what, let's talk to you about balls first. I know you like balls. Do you like balls?
I like football.
I like my own balls.
Spring has sprung. What's this read again? And the best tools for spring cleaning your pants is Manscaped. Trust me, your confidence will be blooming like the flowers this upcoming spring. It's time to clear out that winter bush and join the 4 million men who trust Manscaped. We're in for a hot summer, gents. You don't need it hotter in that sense. Use code XG20, you're going to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. And Manscaped are the global leaders. Listen, how many times do we need to tell you about this, right? We're all lazy. We're blokes, right? Why? How many times does someone be like, oh, what are you going to get, blah, 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 for the birthday? And you go, oh, fucking hell. When's it his birthday? Today. Shit. It's a Trafford. I'm not going to the Trafford Centre United playing at home. Fuck that noise. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to manscaped.com. You're going to put in the code XG20. You're going to get 20% off. You're going to get free shipping. And they're going to send you a shaver. They're going to send you a weed whacker so you can sort your fucking ears out. They're going to get ball deodorant, ball reviver, all that sort of goodness. Whoever you've got in your life, if they've got balls, their balls need work, right? They do, right? They might have one heavily metrosexual person in your life that's all about fucking moisturizer and spritzing, right? But for the other fucking 3,000 blokes that you know, they're going to need some work on their spuds, right? So get them a Manscaped. Every single, like Joe, what do I got? Buy the guy that's got everything. A fucking ball trimmer. And if he's got a ball trimmer, it won't be as good as Manscaped. So you've upgraded his ball trimmer. And I bet he's not got a fucking ear hair trimmer, has he? Right? And you get that in this. So there you go. Manscaped.com, XG20. We're all lazy. Just go and buy like 40 of them and stack them up and just dish them out like it's sweets. Simples. XG20, 20% off. Sorted. Happy? Right. I would talk to you about the 60-minute football clock.
What's that, Steve?
Just been twittering about it.
I disagree.
I thought you might.
60-minute games.
Just leave it as 90 minutes. It's fine.
Yeah,
right.
It's fine.
It isn't fine. And here's why I'm going to argue.
Why
with
is
you
it
and
not?
tell
Why
you
is it? All right, argue with me then.
I'm going to. You shut up. I'm going to do it.
All you do is argue. See, you're arguing already.
You're arguing already.
You've got a purple shirt on.
Here's the. It's more like indigo. Here's the average clubs this season. City have the ball in play the most with 60 minutes and 27 seconds. With Villa, it's down at 49 minutes, 23 seconds. It isn't fair.
Wait, what is that?
That's how long the ball is in play.
Or as in when that team's at home?
No.
Oh, on average during their games, okay.
Yeah. I don't know how many of you knew this, but that's when Stoke was in the Prem, they would have games that was under 45 minutes of the ball being in play because they're just fucking oofing it.
So,
and then
okay,
spending
right.
ages taking throw-ins.
So is this whole new 60-minute thing, is the clock being stopped when the ball goes out of play?
Yes.
Like it is in...
Correct. So you saw the Atletico Madrid game where I believe it was the last 30 minutes, the ball was only in play for 11. Players are going down time wasting. Players are fucking about. The ball boys are giving them the ball and they're kicking it away. All of that is the most frustrating shit ever. Riley says, come off it's these 60-minute games. You need to listen first. Games are not 60 minutes right now. For the average time the ball is in play is actually 54 minutes.
But
you're getting 10% more football.
Yeah, but the ball's still going to go out of play and they're still going to have to stop the clock and get the ball back and then
So
start
here's
again.
the thing. The game will not be any longer or shorter, maybe 10% longer if you're going to get a full actual 60 minutes of it.
Okay, I know. I see what you mean now.
Right? The game is not going to be affected except that when the ball goes... Like, here's the thing, right? We've all had those games where someone's had a broken leg, the stand was on fire, there was a giraffe invaded the pitch, and the referee goes, 1 minute extra time. And you're like, how the fuck is there 1 minute extra time? It's just not fair.
That is
And it's
true.
always when you're chasing the game. Now, you'll know exactly how long... Someone goes down, ref blows a whistle. Take your fucking time, mate.
It'll just open another can of worms, though. It's like VAR, right? VAR's going to be sorting all these things out, and now there's loads of other VAR problems, and it'll be the same in this because people will say, "Hang on, the ball went out and they didn't stop the clock," or "Hang on, it wasn't that long."
But the fudge factor where you see the thing that United was always accused of, where they would say the ref allowed us to keep playing until we scored. It wouldn't happen. Because you might get those basketball moments where it's like, Joe, like, the ball's gone out of play and you've got like a 3-second play.
You have to
get
shoot.
Do you know? All right. Do you know?
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Do you know
Or it'd
what?
be like
Do you know I'm still against it because I don't like this whole over policing of the sport. This whole thing that you're complaining about just adds to the drama and the difference and the variables in football. That's why we love it. I think if you start doing that after we've gone VAR, before you know it, football's gonna be basically completely automated, and that's not what we like it.
I get that
Do you know what I
point.
mean? So I don't really. So
Shall we, for a friendly this year with one of our opponents that we get on well with, should we see if we can trial? Why not? Why not make our own experiment? We trial a game where there's a visible clock that is paused every time the ref blows his whistle, and we play 60 minutes.
So what happens when he gets to 60 minutes then? Is it going to be like rugby where next time the ball is out of play? Yeah, it's like a penalty and it's like fucking quick, we've got 10 seconds.
Well, the ball will be out.
Oh no, yeah, sorry, no, you're right. But then like say you had a shot and it's like it goes in, but it's like
the more I hear this
game ends,
idea,
ball mid-air, and it's like shit.
Nah, the more I hear this idea, the more I hate
Why?
it. I don't
Because
like
there
it.
you've got an 11-minute variance between Aston Villa and Manchester City. Is that fair?
But nah, it's just over the top, man. I think the stuff you're moaning about adds to the drama.
Yeah, you should just be like, you should look at that, and you
It's
should
like
think
there's
of
no
a
more-
tactic to deal with it. You should be like, okay, we should get our goals in early or something, play differently early.
Do you know what's
and try and hold on?
Because you know what's weird about VAR, right? It was introduced to kind of get rid of these dodgy offside calls, these offside goals a la Drogba, that cost teams, innit? Or cost people games. But it's actually made it worse because now people are getting VAR decisions wrong as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's no human error excuse with it now.
Exactly.
So it's just made it even more.
I think it's more interpretation of the law. IFAB, the people in charge of it, said if you're zooming in on pixels, like the clear and obvious, the interpretation of clear and obvious is you can't be clear and obviously on or offside because it's a definition. You're either onside or you're offside. It's not like a clear and obvious thing. They were saying it needs to be, was it, like if you're zooming in on that one, no, it wasn't a clear and obvious mistake that you was clear and obviously on or offside. The Drogba one in 2010, that was like you glance at that for half a second. You go, he's fucking offside.
It's a fuck up, innit?
Yeah, sorry, I got that one wrong. Like, if you're zooming in to see where Sterling's fucking pube hair lines up against someone's fucking shirt, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
If you have to draw lines on a pitch and then be like, just fucking play on.
That's it. Like VAR should only be used like once a week in like all Premier League games. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like it's very rare. Like
Or
it
challenge
should-
it. That would be a best way.
Well, I don't know. I think the main problem with VAR is literally what you said, Ronnie, about like its interpretation. Like what happens is now a penalty isn't given. The refs like go check VAR and they'll show the ref every angle as slow as it goes and until the ref's like, oh shit, it's a pen.
Yeah.
It's like you can't just show him the angle and the speed where it looks most like a penalty.
That's where
just
you
show
see-
him exactly
was
what
that,
he's
was
seen.
it clearly
Yeah,
a
exactly.
mistake that I didn't give it, or was it clearly the correct decision?
exactly.
Does anyone in the comments have like the stats on average pens per season or that there is now compared to before VAR?
Feels like the first season of VAR we got loads on it.
Yeah, and then he kind of went back on it.
They fucking
Blue Moon,
'Cause I wanna
VAR
see.
benefits teams like United. Why?
Why do you keep reading out his shit?
He's just been a nod.
Ahmed has
Story.
dropped in a super chat. Thank you, brother. And he says, Steve, definitely agree with you about the 60 minutes. It's unfair for fans to pay to attend these games. I mean, maybe. Also, refs are bad at timekeeping, and that's why Fergie always had to have someone keep the time. I mean, yeah, you lose little charming things, but these charming things are only because things are fucking wrong in the first place. Peter Kelly says 11 minutes variant because Villa are wasting time. Against us, I remember Martinez waste time for kickoffs. Mike Dean walks up to him and tell him hurry up. He walks back. I was reading that.
Yeah, that's a great point. That
And again, keep going.
that gets solved.
Walks back to the halfway line, then he kicks it. Yeah, that's the other thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's like come on, Martinez, come on.
Now,
Richard Starkey says stopping the clock would force inferior teams to play football against better teams. Time wasting or playing for a draw can help teams battle for a point. But don't we want to end that? Don't we want to end that nonsense? Even if you're a team that's an underdog, play as an underdog. Allow the game to be played.
Basically, what should happen is, all right. So what's been exposed even more so than this whole dark arts football, ball being out of play.
Alex Bailey says, what about stopping the clock and having 90 instead of 60? Those games would last 3 hours.
No, that would be NFL like. But anyway, Nah, because what I was going to say before you interrupted me, because now I can't fucking remember what I was about to say. Fuck.
You'll come back.
It'll come back to me. So
He's going to remember it tonight.
But yeah, I think with VAR as well.
fucking threw me off.
60-minute game time would mean games would be twice as long. It would not work. Well, no, it wouldn't. We only get 60 minutes at the moment. So in theory, it should be exactly the same.
All right, I remember what I was going to say now. So what's more worrying is the fact that refs' timekeeping is the thing that's shite, just as much as these teams deploying dark tactics to kind of shorten games. It's more about, because basically that's meant to be stoppage time then, isn't it?
Sort of, yeah. But like, I'd love to know what the actual
I feel like they
line
guess.
in the rules is. They fucking absolutely
I feel like they
guess.
just decide. I know what they do. I think at the end of the games...
It's meant to be every sub is 30 seconds, but I don't know if that's written down.
No, I
Is
think...
that just like an urban myth?
I think they kind of guess it. I think this has been kind of
Like
stop-start.
a wank on a train.
This has been stop-start for the last half an hour. Just add 5 minutes on, kind of thing.
Yeah,
I don't think they actually time it up.
Yeah, so that'll
Apart
do,
from
that'll
like
do.
if there's like a serious injury, because you've seen games where it's gone into like the 115th minute and stuff like that from serious injuries. But again, that is still totally fucking guessed.
Thing is, I don't think it matters really, because like you could just have someone who does keep an eye on the time, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, we've worked out exactly that added on is 4 minutes and 52 seconds.
Yeah, why is it always rounded up to full minutes?
Yeah, like that would work as well. Do you know what I mean? And then it
That's
keeps
why I
things
think the
90
60
minutes.
You know what's the funniest
The
part?
60-minute means I think the finale to games, knowing how long was left, would be mint.
Yeah,
But
and if players could actually see it, because you know at Old Trafford, like it's you can't see the seconds. Can you imagine like players looking up? They're like, "Shit, I've got 21 seconds."
I actually think these teams that are on the defensive, teams that are hanging on, would put in really spirited performances knowing it's 12 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, the ball's gone out and it's a bit like a basketball scenario. And it's 12 seconds on the clock and you know that you got your fucking Rory Delap really polishing the fuck out of his ball, freshly manscaped, and he's about to fucking hoy it in. And then the clock's going to start again.
He's getting the crowd going.
Mate, come on, I'm in it. I'm fucking... Sign me up, I'm in. I'm fucking having it. It'd be mint. It'd be fucking class. Imagine Champions League final 1999, right? Instead of it's +1 and +3, you saw that it was 57 going all the way up to 51 for the last one, or 59, sorry, for the last one. And it's like, I think it was like 5 seconds or something of play after Solskjaer's goal. Imagine it's fucking 59, 55, bosh. Fucking game over, lads. Oh my fucking God.
Do you know what's
That'd be
shite though?
fucking
Because what makes this whole timekeeping thing even sound more wrong is the fact that why is there always such a big disparity between time added on at half time to full time?
Correct, because it's
So that
applied.
means it's
Like someone
so
could,
it's guessing.
there could be a fucking humanitarian crisis in the first half, right? You get in a minute, right? Have you ever seen a 2 minute or a 3 minute or a 5 minute in the first half?
No.
It's never
Sometimes.
happened.
It's never more than 1 minute,
minute.
no matter what.
It's a minute.
It does
And you
sometimes happen.
can't tell me that there's the same amount of time wasted.
Nah. 1
There's
minute every
that
time.
much difference between time stopped in the second half as in the
No,
first half. of
I
football.
disagree because like if teams are holding on, they'll be getting the ball out more. Players are tired as well.
Some teams time waste in the first half, though. It happens.
Yeah, but not often.
Aditya says, give it a cricket type limited number of reviews. I'd be all right with that, mate.
Oh, yeah, but then a review is just like you'll just review it again, and then like it's
No, like VAR's not implemented whatsoever. It runs in the background, and then you as a manager go, no, I'm not having that. Review that.
okay. But
You
then
get like 2 or 3 calls, and if you're wrong, you lose one. Like gamesmanship it a little bit.
it's just like it's Americanizing football, and it's like I don't know. Does it need that? It'd be entertaining, but like, does it need that? Do we really need that? Football's entertaining anyway.
In my
Yeah,
defense,
listen, I was going to say...
says Steve, why would Ralph play Pogba against Leicester when he fasted all day and wouldn't be at his best? I played 2 players who were fasting last weekend, especially in the first couple of days. This is from what the lads have told me. Especially in the first couple of days, you're a bit thirsty, but you're all right. They said it gets harder later in Ramadan than it goes. That's when they really start to feel like lack of energy and stuff like that. Benzema broke his fast 15 minutes before putting that fucking show on last night. Whatever depletion he was, Chelsea better be fucking thankful that he was depleted because it'd have fucking ruined him if he was fully charged up.
What do you
That was
reckon,
mad
yeah?
though.
Custard
See,
creams.
Jamie Gillespie said in the 30... Can you scroll up, please, Will? In the 32 games, 38 tracked, to calculate that there should be an average of 30 minutes and 10 seconds added on, but in reality the average was less than
So
half.
there you go. We're getting nowhere near our value for money games.
Oh no, man!
Football for
Just
your money.
over policing stuff. It just makes it don't sit right with me.
Big Rob LFC says Ronaldo Brown is a big bell end. Benzema fasted last night. Yeah, he broke his fast just before. So
show that. Big Rob.
KG says not a big deal to play fasting players. I think early on in it, I mean, I would have to say we had players that were fasting last season and it was very hot and they were fucked. This year, it was a bit of a mixed day in terms of the weather and they were fine. I think you got to just take it player by player, game by game, circumstances by circumstances. Those later games, so we had a game in the summer, because summer won it last year. We had a game against Duckingfield. It was either last year or the year before. And Jav had fasted and he was fucking dead on his feet. Absolutely dead on his feet. Because, I mean, we were playing right up until sunset, weren't we? So, that's obviously the hardest time, I imagine, as an athlete.
When you're about to break the fast,
to be doing it.
From what I saw, don't certain teams have specific medics for Ramadan? I think I saw it yesterday. I forgot for what player it was. I think Real Madrid won on the sideline specifically for Benzema. I think because there's at least one or two Muslim players on most big teams at the moment. They kind of have this period of time where they have specific nutritionists or.
I think someone mentioned that they can defer it as well. So if they've got matches, they can hydrate and fuel on the games because they need to for their job, essentially, and then add on all of those extra days that they've missed at the back end of it. Like, I believe it's a little bit more flexible in terms of stuff like that. But, it's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. But I'm actually going to ask you about that because it is on the thumbnail. I want to know what your thoughts on the Kalvin Phillips links are.
I ain't signing a player that wears shoes like that.
Can we get a picture up?
Probably not that quickly.
Probably not that quickly, but
I would say I think he would suit being a single pivot. I also think you probably still need like a Tielemans alongside him. I think Tielemans and Bruno could be a pretty effective midfield three.
He doesn't look like you're asking for two Premier League centre mids, both from clubs that aren't going down in one window.
Yeah, I don't know how much Phillips would cost you. For some reason, I feel like he'd be fairly value for money. I don't think he'd be like 80 million plus. Yeah, Tielemans obviously running. He's got a contract running out. You might be able to get a bit of a bargain on him. He's not free, but bargain.
Whoever gets a bargain off Leicester.
They don't really have players that come down to a year to go, though. So,
do you think it's all right? So Leicester are going to come into that negotiation and say, "Remember the player we last sold to you?" Laughing up and then
fucking discount.
Basically, say,
the last one you sold's a fucking dud. I want 50% off.
Is that Calvin Lewis?
That's Kalvin Phillips' shoes. Yeah,
Kalvin Phillips.
Yeah,
Kalvin Phillips' shoes.
What are they?
They look comfortable though.
Are they?
Okay, but like, there's all sorts of shit that's comfortable that you won't wear out the house.
They look like stuff you put on your feet when it's muddy. Do you know what I mean? And you're at a festival.
Yeah, or like when people walk through like...
Abhinav Verma says, I used to watch Serie A highlights 15, 20 years ago. We all did. They showed time spent on the ball instead of possession. It was always average of 50 minutes-ish.
So football's always been like that.
That's interesting. Yeah. That is interesting.
But for, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not sure this whole fascination about Declan Rice is because... The thing is, if you buy Declan Rice, he's going to be worth over 100 mil, is what people are saying, or around that.
I think he'd be 80, but yeah.
Yeah. If we buy him, how does that limit what we can spend elsewhere?
See, that's the thing. I think for 80 million, you might get Tielemans and Rice.
Tielemans and Rice for 80 million?
No, sorry, Tielemans and Phillips.
Yeah.
So I'm at Manchester United, you know.
Perhaps.
I know.
And that addresses two problems, because Phillips can sit and Tielemans can play a bit further forward. Whereas like Rice is just solving one problem. Well, are you even solving it? Do you know what I mean? Same with Phillips.
Dean says, has Dre been to an aquarium?
I think so. No, I have, but I don't really remember. No, I do. Yeah, aquariums. They're all right, but...
We're talking about doing something for Patreon. Dre's not aware of this, but we could fucking bring Dre if he fancies it as well. So we were thinking, we come up with like, I think 8 is how many we thought of for it. We're thinking of going doing like a team building weekend away with all of the staff here. So Sophie, Janine, Ronnie, Dave, Will, Greg, myself. I think there was one more space, so we could potentially bring you along, Deji, as well.
Are we going to an aquarium?
No, we're not going to an aquarium. I need to take Ronaldo to an aquarium, but I wanted some of Deji's special cakes to go around with as well, just to make it interesting. And I'm not sure I'm allowed them.
So I've got to do it for content rather than me just go with a girl.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with aquariums. Like, you can't just have like a shark in like the Trafford Centre.
Okay.
Like, what's that all about? That's not very natural, is it?
Not really, no. But now there's the Trafford Centre.
It's true. Like, obviously, aquariums, zoos, they're not ethical, but
I don't really like
Is what it
zoos.
is.
There's some real good safari type places where it's just like they've got a massive cage around it, but it's like a 30-mile square sort of thing. It's just got a fence on the outside of it, and you drive in, and they're just chilling. And like, oh, there's another car, a Land Rover coming through. 'Cause it's always a Land Rover. But here's what we're thinking of doing. So it's team building thing where you do like raft building, archery, maybe a bit of clay pigeon shooting, that sort of shit.
I'm not doing raft building.
You are, because that's why. I'm not sure that response is exactly why. So we're thinking, if you're a patron in the comments, let us know. Do you want to see us do Ronaldo? And I'll just fucking make him do it.
Who voluntarily builds rafts?
You just got voluntold you're doing it.
Voluntold. Am I getting told what to do by a man in a purple shirt
Yes.
with paint splash? I want to give it out to Balenciaga.
Notch says, penalties awarded are up 12% in European top 5 leagues since VAR, but in the Premier League, down 10%. That's fucking wild. Alex says, we get some of Deji's special cakes on the merch page. I think you got jail for that.
Have you got a site on the dark web?
No, I've not. Deji the other day, I think we said to him, like, did you literally just learn how to cook for this purpose? And he was like, yeah.
That's why he learns to cook. So
In La Liga,
good
penalties are up
skills
32%. Jesus. Mitch.
and I bet half of them were penalties.
Yeah.
Half of them were penalties.
Seth says, Ronaldo's data aquarium brought to you by Manscaped. Unlike the fish, don't let your balls feel like they're caught in a net. Love it. Yeah.
They'd use that.
We need to hurry up and fucking do that, actually. Well, Joe, what, we'll do it at the end of the
If
season.
I can
but
catch,
it's a bit fucking easier
if
to
I can
do.
catch salmon, it's all right. I don't mind salmon.
Yeah, I think we take you to, so that if you'd like to get some extra content, and by extra content we mean literally just fucking taking Ronaldo to an aquarium and seeing what his reaction is, yeah, you need to come and fucking check that. But I think we're also going to do a little camping, one night out camping. And we're thinking, the girls and Ronnie and all that lot are all going to want to.
I'm not camping. I'm not
That'd be
camping.
class.
I'm going to make him.
Camping's
I'm not.
class.
You're not making
Hey.
me do anything.
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
make him dig a
camping.
shell
I'm not
spray.
camping.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, this reaction alone is exactly what it's going to fucking go
Fucking
like.
stretching it like bears and that.
Bears.
Bears, it's in Marple.
I mean, if there's a shark in the
The thing
Trafford
is, I don't
Centre,
know.
there might
What
be
do you mean?
a
It's a
bear in
what's
Marble.
Point well
so
made.
what?
Alex says, wait, have I missed something? Ronnie's never been to an aquarium. No, we were talking about, I don't know, fullbacks a few weeks ago, and Ronnie just went, hey, do you know what? I've never been to an aquarium. We went, what?
What fullback's that? Who's he play for?
Oh no, nah, but going camping and seeing bears and that's not what.
It's content.
Nah, it's not content. It's not content. It's just so stupid.
This is why we're doing it.
I don't care
Anyway,
about increasing cultural capital and all that. It's just not what our people do.
That's why it's excellent content. Righty then. Cheers for tuning in. If you would like to, do you know what? I might set a target. If we get back up to 1,000 patrons, I'll do the Ronaldo aquarium thing. Or we might just do that one anyway. But if we get to 1,000 patrons, I'm going to make Ronnie dig a shell scrape. And
You let me do what? You're not making me do what? Stop lying to people.
Be
Polar
good,
bears.
Good video, isn't it?
So if you want to join the Patreon group, there's some extra content coming out. I think there's another episode of The Studio about to drop as well, or The Office about to drop. But if you all want to go and watch Ronaldo moan like that but be muddier, the link is in the description. See you in a bit. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.